preferred partners. A lot of these bottom lane matchups come down to those preferred supports with the AD carries. It's always these two matchups.
And the style we're seeing here in Champ Select is backed up by how these teams have played so far at Worlds. Gumayusi has died on exactly 2 champions in exactly 2 games, and he and Keria have been lane dominant trying to do it here against JDG.
And now you gotta look towards the mid lane for the bans here, because Faker has had this big preference for Akali, and with the Sylas already taken down, expect them to whittle down on his champion pool. They take away that Victor, the longer range, scaling mid lane there with the laser farming. And since they expect a tank from the top side from D69, as we said, with Kanavi on his damaged jungler, they ban away the Ornn, one of the best ones that 369 has utilized here. I would say if they're also still trying to follow that up with more tank bans, you would think the Gragas, but Renekton has been the preference for 369. 369 has the most solo kills of anyone at the tournament. A lot of them come on that Renekton. 7 solo bolos for himself, and there's the Akali follow-up as we expect, targeting Faker.
Yeah, champions I'm expecting here include Gragas for the top lane, and on the mid side, Ahri and Taliyah. If you look back at what they played domestically in the LPL to win the trophy, JDG in the playoffs, huge step up from Hope and Missing. They outperformed their KDAs, their KP. They were huge in the team fights that won them the final. And as far as 369, you can see from the Ornn ban, they think tanks are going up there. My eyes go to Gragas, but as you called it, Kobe, Renekton is the ban.
Okay, so it looks like nothing too crazy coming out. Both sides kind of taking away some of the strengths. The cheeky hover there of the Heimerdinger from JDG. But I think what they do need is some form of engage, but they can save that for a little bit later. Of course, both Azir and Taliyah, 2 very comfortable champions for Yagao, give him a lot of freedom to get that push in the mid lane, and roam to better enable Kanavi. When we look at JDG, this is a mid-jungle duo that works together to get Kanavi ahead, and having push and roam in mid is very typical and strong for JDG.
And specifically what JDG have done here is try and funnel Faker onto the Azir. The Taliyah here has been Yagao's consistent counter pick into the Azir pickups. With the bans on Victor and Akali, JDG are trying to force Faker into this pick here for the Azir, pull it out, because Faker has not played it here at Worlds yet and has focused so much more, towards those kill threats.
And this is when he's playing domestically. Azir was his most played, but Lissandra and Galio were what he went for next. We get a carry in the top side. Zeus blinds Camilla with a Galio flying over the top, and 369 in game 1 gets counterpicked.
And if you remember your World's history, Faker on some of his biggest carry performances, carrying all 3 lanes on Galio, and the quintessential duo solo lane pick here of Galio plus Camille. The easiest possible execution of a kill backline carry. Camille ultimate into Galio ultimate. You can consistently get these engaged. Plus you can consistently also go on top of the Vi. They have so many answers, so many setup possibilities here for T1 to get Faker an ideal Galio ultimate.
So when we go back to the quarterfinals, T1, they played a lot through their top side of the map. They have options to play through top, bot, largely with Faker looking to get those roams off around level 6, looking to set up for those top lane dives, those bot lane dives with the stacked waves. JDG needs to commit a little bit more to that top side, try and get 369 ahead in this counter pick matchup. They can leave their bot side to scale, ramp up into the later game, and be that team fight threat. But JDG need to find a way to shut Zeus down, and not many teams around the world have successfully been able to do it.
Yeah, I really think JDG have to snowball, and Kanavi has to get early kills. Otherwise, this T1 draft is so good at picking off side laners. So since JDG are looking to play these side lanes, you've got Camille, Vi, and Galio. That is set up to assassinate anyone pushing on these side lanes. Amazing blue side draft here for T1, getting into our first game of the semifinals.
And Camille Jax is our top lane matchup. Zeus and 369, the 2 best top laners in the world. And they gave the man from JDG counterpick. He brings out the Jax, and we'll see if he can outperform Zeus. An absolute stellar performer. T1, 4 of these 5 players were found, scouted by T1 themselves. The only transfer is Keria, picked up after his own rookie year. T1 with a self-found lineup, ready to see if they can make the World Finals again.
Yeah.
Sweep it.
There's been a lot of talk of building up younger rookie talent, and T1 are setting an example for the entire world with how successful they have been. Zeus, Oner, Gumayusi, all being brought up through their youth program, trained themselves internally.
So a minor point I want to bring up there, you saw them dance around and wait to kill the ward. Hope tried to walk out of range, not get XP. He still got XP. Every one of the 5 has some XP from that ward, which means no one is getting level 2 from the first wave. They attempted to let 369 and Yagao get level 2 off 6 minions. That was not successful. They ran out of time.
Okay, so with that in mind, we're going to be keeping our eyes on jungle pathing now. Kanavi going to start on the bot side with a solo start, it looks like, and he's going to path up towards top. This is expected, looking to mainly cover for 369 in the early push, making sure that he is comfortable and safe. We talk so much in draft around this top side and making sure that 369 is comfortable and safe in the 1 versus 1, making sure that this counter pick works out for JDG.
Yeah, there's a lot of volatile lanes to look at. And if you go back and watch a lot of the LPL games for JDG this year, you really do focus on Kanavi. I actually love his jungle playstyle. It's one of these ones that is kind of a pay-it-forward jungle playstyle. My personal favorite, actually, where you go and oftentimes he'll visit Yagao's lane, push out the wave for him, ward for him, so that he can then pay it forward, have Yagao then come support him in jungle invades or in going and ganking on the side lanes. It's one of the reasons that Kanavi has been one of the best quintessential carry jungle players with the highest gold per minute of any jungler here at World and the highest
Level 2 each, Gumayusi. Not going to be whimsied here. Looks like shield was learned by missing as decent damage comes across, trading back and forth. And right now, JDG have the health lead. Good sidestep in the Calibrum snipe.
And look at this jungle path here from Kanavi immediately looking to play off some of these volatile lanes, going mid just as we expect with Yagao.
Here we go, Faker has Ghost, has Cleanse, or has Flash, I should say, finds the taunt. Will they find the stun? Sidesteps it. Faker walking away, has burned his Ghost though, down 1 summoner in mid.
So, a bit of trade of summoner spells all across the map, the heal being burnt down in bot, the Ghost being spent there by Faker. The fact that he was able to get that early push against the Taliyah, you would expect that Yagao kind of let him get that early push set for that play, and Kanavi is quick to take advantage of it. As Kobe was setting up, this is a very common trend that we'll see from Kanavi, playing through mids to try and burn those summoners to make it easier for Yagao to get that push so that he can then look to roam. And again, we'll keep our eyes on the top side of the map and these level 6s for both these mid laners.
Exactly, it's such an effective style as a jungler because there's no better feeling than having a mid laner be able to come gank with you or gank for you even, and be able to soak up those extra minions. Meanwhile, Oner over towards the bottom side. They're really trying to play off their first pick Lucian Nami duo lane here.
Heal is down. They don't have obvious easy escapes there. If CC lands, it'll stick through, but not going to find the dive here. Scars lose fast underneath. The bottom side wave is gone. The camps are out, and it's going to be both jungles getting a pretty easy scuttle.
And the cost of that for jungling and revealing yourself and blowing that Skyre's Bloom is always the counter jungling possibilities. Look at already this CS lead that Kanavi has jumped out to here on the Viego. And Vedius, you were talking about this top lane matchup. Whenever your jungler is able to invade enemy blue quadrant like that versus blue team.
Oh yeah, the ward just in time.
It's very, very beneficial for just your lane because of this ward that you get to leave behind.
It gives you so much information to play off of, and 369 can be as aggressive as he wants. And Zeus, with his wave in a bit of an awkward spot right now, has to be a little bit more cautious. But I think what we saw was a great contrast of the jungle styles. Oner, very much more about trying to enable his very talented laners. Not to say that he's like constantly, repeatedly ganking every single lane, but he really does try to set up his laners for success. Really good trade here for Zeus.
Out of mana though, can't chase for any more than that one. 369 safe at 200 HP. Will of course reach in a bit back up with that door and shield, but Zeus now back in control of the lane.
369 though, with the wave pushing into him, he can look to go back to base. He doesn't have to expend the TP if he doesn't want to. Missing in a bit of trouble.
A lot of damage, but he does get the whimsy up on Gumayusi. Now some of the damage. Flash forward, cleanses the root. Damage out of hope, and it's going to be flash for cleanse. Cool that advantage to T1.
Interesting. That's going to attract a lot of attention with no flash available on hope. You see immediate response from both mid laners as well as both junglers here. There is blood in the water already.
Ooh. Of course knows where Oner is. No Snaker's down there, but not yet level 6. JDG, everyone's a wave away from 6 here. Both the Galio and Taliyah can make their way down. Similar ranges on the ultimates. This wave crashing right now is the one, or the one speeding in a second, is the one that gets level 6. We'll see him come down pretty soon, possibly. Look for someone in the brush. No one's down there. T1's safe to kill the control ward.
The thing about Lucian Nami is it is inherently a very volatile lane. You want to be finding advantages in the straight-up 2v2 because of your additional sustain and because of the amount of damage that you have, which means that T1 are investing a lot into making sure that Keria and Gumayusi can build up these leads. Faker is hovering to the bot side of the map. Oner is consistently looking for opportunities, and while he is falling behind in the isolated jungle 1v1 matchup, he's making sure that this bot lane is building a lead.
Yeah, you can see the first battle that will be fought over the war that is bottom lane is this area here. This river is going to be the highway of ganks between mid and bottom that is going to be constantly under attention here from both sides. I want to take a minute to talk about the T1 bottom lane, as they should be able to escape here, because the T1 bottom lane, their performance at World has been magnificent. And one of the biggest improvements from T1's summer split for themselves, Gumayusi and Keria have the top 2 KDAs of all players, not just bottom layer players at Worlds thus far. 18.5 KDA for Gumayusi. It gives them the confidence to early pick that duo. Meanwhile, though, JDG will be able to use Kanavi, start up this dragon.
I mean, Gumayusi has only died in 2 of their 9 games. It's crazy. And that was the
total time so far.
That was the 3rd game against RNG, and then that was the game that they lost against Fnatic. Aside from that, he has been deathless. The man has had an incredible tournament, and right now he's being set up for success. But JDG, as you rightly said, we're able to find that small advantage. Kanavi is playing the map very well. He hasn't been able to find any successful ganks yet, but this is his style. He leverages the pressure that his waves are able to generate, information on where the enemy jungler is, to build up leads for himself and steal away these objectives. So JDG, while very even in the gold, ahead now on rank.
And he's scaling away here on this Viego. They're going to move towards that Divine Thunder he's so want to build down there, as the bot lane also is holding up. The fact that Aphelios is within 5 CS of Lucian, definitely pretty solid, especially when Guma got such a very good first recall. Managed to force a 1,000 gold recall for both. Got serrated Dirk into just like components very, very good, and yet not pushing the lead much more beyond that.
And now I want to refocus back on Kanavi, kind of the heart of JDG here, this carry jungle player, because with the CS lead, Viego, once you get level 6, is a huge force in Rift Herald fights. We're about to tick towards that 8-minute mark once the Rift Herald does spawn. Because you have that reset playability here for them, I want to see if JDG can get themselves an advantage. Oner, meanwhile, is bottom lane, still level 5 on the Vi.
The control ward on the river, he's going to be spotted right about now. Missing, has to flash, maybe. It's going to be the first one missing. Heal for move speed. Flashed it himself. Double, not an ulti, but enough damage is going to be there. The polymorph, first blood for Gumayusi. He won the second from drops down. Missing finds the kill. Loses his life.
Wow, incredible play there from T1 as they're able to commit and get some kills on the bot side of the map. Hope with some beautiful sidestepping was not enough. So much was committed from the T1 side to secure those kills, and while they will draw first blood, JDG walk away with the Herald.
It's honestly such a smart read from T1. They expect the same play I was just talking about on that Rift Herald for Kanavi, and so Oner takes that opportunity to make the bottom side play. Ward there for T1 on the top side, with Kanavi successfully being able to get that Rift Herald and now turn his eyes towards the top side.
Galio has the ult.
Pretty good damage. They're going to put the ulti on indeed. Which way can he go as Galio arrives? But it is a 3 versus 2. The taunt is short. The damage good towards Kanavi. Barely stays alive. Finds the damage, but no! The re-engage is in. T1 find their 3rd kill, and Oner wants a little bit more. Faker dives in. Snipes the last kill. Oner will just about fall. Zeus cannot block the shots in time. Again, JDG get a single kill back.
Meanwhile, 2v1 dive possibility.
No way. He's gonna Whimsy, he's gonna find the slow, the root will be there, Whimsy. He's gonna drop aggro, the shot lands, and Gumayusi makes him pay for the roam.
And it's blow for blow across the map. We're almost tied in gold here with the extra dragon going over to JDG and now being able to push out on bottom side. Keria finally getting back, but we first see that Galio ultimate used to try and cross-map defend towards Zeus for T1. They overstep a little bit with the extra tower damage there and giving over the extra kill.
But look at the minimap. T1 read the play very well. They're already making their way up towards the top side well before this play is even happening, which means the Faker is in range to land the ultimate. The damage from the Galio is incredible as he's able to force Kanavi out of the fight. And then the second that 369 overextends, he's not expecting both the Vi and the Nami to be here, which means that they overextend and T1 are able to find 2 kills.
It's just so smart there. Oner, knowing again that JDG are going to play a top side after the bottom side showing, is able to get up there and use his Vi ultimate. Meanwhile, Gumayusi left on the bottom side, 2v1. There is no outplaying this. Good job from Missing to tank the tower aggro, moves in, gets a knock up with his ultimate before then getting out of tower range and Hope able to snipe him with the ultimate.
Just really good awareness from the JDG bot lane, ultimately making that trade a 2-for-2. It was the best thing they could have done, and I'm glad that they were able to commit to it because they keep this game still very even. Both these teams are bloody teams, and we're already seeing it here in game 1 of this semifinal.
And we're seeing JDG just edge out a little bit in the objective control with the Dragon as well as the Rift Trail still in pocket for Kanavi to be able to use. But Gumayusi and Faker both getting rich off those plays.
The only lane with any turret plates killed so far is top lane there. 369, I feel like, would probably want the extra gold ahead of his opponent. None of them are close to dying at this point in time. T1 actually leads the World Championship in turret difference across the early game, holding like it here so far as well with pressure in a lot of these lanes.
Yeah, they lead the World Championship in a lot of ways. Explosive wins, as we've seen from them. Very, very quick game times as well. See about some top side focus again, though, from Kanavi.
Worth noting, first Mythic in for Hope.
The wave state is in a very awkward position for Zeus, and he knows exactly where his team is, which means that there's a real risk of Kanavi being here in the top lane. Zeus doesn't have the flash, does still have the E at his disposal though, so he's playing as cautiously and as carefully as he can. Keep your eye on Yagao on the minimap as well, as he is hovering around the top side of the map. JDG is threatening this.
Ooh, actually interrupts the E back, will not find the stun, nor the damage from Kanavi. He's gonna summon the Herald and go for a couple of plates taken. They may auto-attack one down, but turret likely won't die, but with Taliyah on the way over, they can probably just force this whole thing down.
Yeah, it's a known trade here. JDG trying to force on top side with Rift Field activation, giving up that Dragon. Look at Faker coming over for the Galio ult.
Double combo, it's gonna catch Kanavi, it makes so much damage. Ults out to safety, finds a stun, juke it away from Faker, and because mid is here, it's a 3v2 and JDG find the kill.
JDG with the outplay, it felt to me like Faker read the play once more. He was prepared to cover Zeus, but JDG were confident in making the play happen. 3 versus 2, they're able to get the outplay, and they walk away with the kill and the plates.
Yeah, it's T1 trying to make the same counterplay this time around, but can't quite get the outplay in the 2 versus 3 this time. JDG get that extra kill, and they did need that because of the heavy investment up there, because Dragon traded over to T1, splitting those now. Gold lead still not that significant. A lot of these, item timers are being matched by both teams, hitting all their first mythics on the exact same time. So it's going to be about that next engage, the next big Galio ultimate from Faker. Now after you see these recalls and the support recall timers moving in, trying to set up the wards to do so.
700 gold lead, as you mentioned, item timings there is it's still 4 mythics apiece, right? You got the mandate for Keria, you've got the crown here for Yagao. Looking for their second drink, not quite the sidestep there, but support combat not gonna be that lethal just yet. But you've got a jungler coming across, forcing the flash away from missing without tidal wave. We'll see if the team fight looks good.
Chad Nami here, Keria forces support flash all by himself, has the backup of the rest of the T1 team, so Missing knows he's got to get out of there.
I was a little surprised that Missing chose not to invest his ultimate, but the second he saw Oner on that control ward, he was like, I could get ulted here. This is not worth it, so he chooses to flash out. Big wave here that JDG want to make sure they can grab, so Kanavi is just here to cover. Something that we consistently see from him, making sure that his lanes are as safe as possible as JDG enter the mid game in an even state. You can see that JDG have been able to accrue a large number of plates across the map, and they've been able to successfully gain advantages in both top and even in mid, just because of how Yagao in recent plays was able to get the better of Faker.
And some very important wards, actually. Just see Faker there attempting a hover towards the top side of the map for JDG. Meanwhile, JDG clearing out all of these wards through that mid-bottom highway of the river to make a power play for themselves on the other side of the map.
Not going to find the ward kill themselves. The T1 kills out the aggressive control ward. Bot lane will be pushed in, but not much else to play for. No neutral objectives are up. Actually, Herald has respawned, so it is going to be an available play. You see Kanavi walking to that side of the map.
So this is the main plan here from JDG. Kanavi hovers the bot, makes sure they can catch the wave, then he makes sure that they can push the wave out, which gives them first roam up to mid. Now you can see them catching the mid wave, and now they're threatening to die.
Yeah, this is going to be a 2v1. Not much you can do. Ulti's a dodge away the knockback, but will it even matter? Looks for the jump away, doesn't get too far, and Kanavi's going to find himself the kill. JDG put more resources top lane, and 369 is rewarded.
Just exquisite macro there from JDG. The play from bot into mid, with the mid roam into top, into the successful tower dive. T1 now contests 4v5.
Good spot. Q smite claimed by Oner. but the team fight is what matters because Hope is here. Gale forces in, jumps in for the root, ults for a bit more damage, but no kills be found just yet. Another slow, Q not quite there, flashed in for a stun, the knockup, nearly the kill. Kanavi goes down, Oner wants out, but he's gonna fall all the same. 1-for-1 mid lane controlled by JDG.
Zeus is alive, so Faker could recall, heal on Galio, try and walk out to the map to be able to ultimate and look for a counter play, but it looks like JDG won't give them the opportunity. They back off, push out mid lane afterwards. What a steal there, being able to smite away the Rift Herald, deny that objective to JDG after their successful pickoff on Zeus.
And this is the thing you can never underestimate with T1, the individual talent. The sidestep there from Gumayusi, the steal from Oner, the taunt from Faker. 4 versus 4 initially because of the back from 369 means that T1 see a window to force this fight. But then their goal is the second that 369 rejoins, they need to disengage. But look at the ultimate here from Oner. The second that the commitment comes in, he gets knocked up by Faker, knocked up by Oner, and they're able to one-shot the jungler from JDG. It does end up being a trade as Hope is able to find a kill, but the Herald is denied from T1, along with the Herald being denied from JDG.
Yeah, nice little seismic shove from Yagao to make sure it is indeed a 1-for-1 in the end. And a bunch of these kills over, going to Hope. Flashing forward early, very, very aggressive Aphelios play here from Hope. Want to see if JDG can keep up this pace, because as the side turrets go down, that's when these two comps get really exciting. It's all about picking off those side laners, who can be first to the play, and then trying to avoid, or in T1's case, set up that big Galio ultimate to make sure it happens.
One of the things that impressed me the most in the quarterfinals was JDG's ability to set up around objectives. And what I mean by that is the way in which they set up the lanes across the map, the way in which they control the space. And again, we're seeing it. Look at how Yagao was able to get the push in bot. They sacrificed the wave in mid to contest this objective, and now they're looking to force it.
Force the TP on the top side. Ulti on. Is it going to be enough to kill off? Missing, though. Has to walk away. He's got the reinforcements coming around there. No knockups from the Galio. But it's under the backside. Really can't live for long. Zeus forced to jump away. And 369 gets another one. Kanavi going to be safe in the back line. Cannot find the stun for 369. A 1-for-0. T1 chose to hop away from the top turret. They wanted to fight for the Drake, but JDG win that fight.
What play from 369? He flashes out of the Galio ultimate just onto the edge there, and they re-engage after Zeus taking down this top laner, being rewarded with the dragon, #2 to their names. JDG outplaying again in this team fight.
Really well played team fight by JDG, but 369 now isolated.
Gonna be a lot of danger on him. 1 versus 3 has the dodge up. Can he find a kill? Goes for Keria. The squishiest member forces the flash away. Somehow Keria snipes the kill himself.
The flash into the control warded bush was so smart there from Keria to completely deny vision from 369 in the event that his Q was off cooldown. Kanavi, though, once again, stealing away jungle. I stand corrected. Zeus, he's just gonna walk away with that one. Cheeky steal from him, no smite from Kanavi.
No way! He's able to steal it away from Kanavi there. Didn't have smite, so it was still coming down, but that was such a bold play there. Able to escape with his life as well.
Attempt here.
This
Very
personal
wise.
now. Kanavi's looking for Zeus. You stole my red buff, now I'm looking for your life, but it looks like they have no wave to really threaten to dive here. Yagao does not want to risk it.
And look at this on the top side. It must be noted, Faker getting this side lane turret again. Once these turrets go down, it's going to get so exciting. Already, this game one is delivering. The gold's so close right now, coming down to these small spacings. You mentioned Aphelios, the all-in engage here onto missing. They have the Camilla ult plus the Galio ultimate, but 369 flashes away from the Galio ultimate, and then nobody wants to go over this Yagao field of rocks on the bottom side, which allows JDG to focus fire and take down the Camille, getting then the extra person advantage and the objective.
It's important to realize that T1's comp is inherently a dive comp. People all want to be collapsing in on a single target, but they chose to dive onto missing in a choke point, which for champions like Taliyah, for Lulu, these are great spaces where they can punish their opposition. The ultimate from Hope would just be a bit of damage, but T1, they overcommitted into that funnel, and then they quickly regretted their decision.
Exactly, and that means the important flashes you're looking to burn for the fights are going to be
4v2. There's the stun. Pretty good damage on Zeus. Does he live is the question. Yagao puts down the minefield. And Faker says hello and wants to say goodbye. The wave comes across just what Faker wanted to do. A stopwatch buys 2.5 seconds, but it's still going to be 400 gold to buy items. Going to JDG. be a 2-for-0 team fight.
JDG find the secret agent there in the brush. They assassinate Zeus, and now they're gonna run the map.
They have their eyes on the Baron. The pings are coming down, but they've decided to commit to mid. Now they're looking for another kill.
Gumayusi trying to run for his life, gets out. I don't see a 3, I see 6-9 on the scoreboard right now. JDG winning with a lot of effort in the top lane. Kanavi got a bunch of kills and solidly ahead now in game 1.
JDG are just playing the map and they're playing the fight so well. T1 are looking for these picks, but they're inherently over-grouping at this point in the game, and JDG are just outplaying them in the straight-up 5v5.
Yeah, really good spacing from these JDG members. Getting outside of these skill shots, re-engaging and taking down immediately Zeus in back-to-back scenarios here. Huge pickup for them.
It just clicked to me, your clever 6-9 score is so clever.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
Let's have a look back at this clip.
So this is on award. T1 double member invade, and JDG go right for them. You've activated our trap card. Once Faker comes late in on the Galio as well, it's just another delivery of an extra kill. When T1 go for these attempted secret plays, you need to have a sweeper ready to make sure you are not on vision.
Yeah,
because JDG, they do not hesitate. They have been such a good job coordinating these engagements.
You can see that T1's idea there was to inherently threaten the tower. They wanted to try and, if you don't back off, we're going to dive you, but JDG was primed and ready, as you very clearly highlighted. So we're now looking at the next Drake, spawning in about a minute and 20 seconds. JDG would love to get their hands on that. So Yagao already pathing up towards top, started the slow push off, will start making his way down towards the mid lane as well. JDG still have a lot of time, but the same could be said for T1. As Gumayusi throws down a bit of damage down onto Hope. He will have the red gun to be able to lifesteal that back up, but it's JDG with primary control over the river right now.
Top lane fight yet again, equal levels for now, but items 2 completed for 369. Zeus able to jump away, heal back up with a backflip and grasp. Jungler on his side now as well. It could be a 2v1 onto the top laner. Has to be respectful in a little bit. The mid wave, though, is given to JDG.
Now, I expect T1 to go for some pick-off plays. We mentioned in Champ Select, the ability to pick champions off is the greatest strength of their setup. The Camille, the Vi, the Galio, looking to attack those side lanes. But JDG have just been so much better at defending it. Yagao constantly being there early on the move. Kanavi constantly hovering 369 in his pushes, and they're able to get another tower here.
And huge control ward spotted 4 people running out of T1's lower jungle up towards mid. They are going to push for this turret. It might be a 1-for-1 turret play ultimately. Guma has to drop aggro because he went for W poke, and that means the turret will live. They couldn't have spent the money anyway, but it would have meant a little bit of map control. 4th Drake of the game. JDG up 2-1 on that mark so far. Cloud Drake spawns at 3.
Gotta watch Hope. Everybody is looking for the engage on Hope. There's no flash on him. He's in the middle of the mid lane here. Very vulnerable on that Aphelios. Should be the big target.
Yeah. Red gun, Bloodthirster, flash on in. Looking for the dive. Everyone presses R, and he's shut down. Can JDG win 4v5 is the question. They own the river. They do not own mid lane. Turret will fall. Knockback is there. Faker, Zonia's gonna stay alive with the disengaged flash. Looks at the cleanse flash away from Yagao. Looks for it again. Taunt 369. No, bubbled away. Flashback to safety. Oner can't catch him either. 4v5. JDG are fighting. A taunt will land from Faker, but 369 can fight back. Finds his stun. Knocked up into a bubble, and Faker just barely lives. But JDG don't have an 80 carry, and they win the fight 4v5.
Well, they run them off the objective. They can definitely turn back for the Dragon, and that is going to be Dragon Soul Point. This would put them at number 3, putting so much threat on T1. Big pickoff. T1, great shot calling. As we mentioned, that's the target you're looking for.
You set it up perfectly, Kobe. You talked about how they were looking for that single target, and this is the idea of the comp. Flash it from Oner. The chain CC is beautiful. There's nothing that Hope can do to escape. But the way in which JDG leveraged the space to just chip away at T1, make it difficult for T1 to re-engage again. They get a good pick down onto Faker. Faker's flash is clean, but the response is just as clean from Yagao. And at this point, they're just running away because they have no real way to start the fight off once again.
And then, oh my god, these re-engages are so fun to watch. 369 has to flash out immediately. He knows he can chase Faker because the Zonia's is down for Faker, and over the Cloud Soul move speed buff, they're able to close the distance here, chase T1 out of range of the objective. So even though JDG lose their AD carry, they lose priority, they're still able, with the health chunks on T1, able to get that objective.
This is the world-class performance we were looking for in the semi-final of 2022 Worlds, and we're getting it. The gold is still dead even. JDG do lead in Dragons, but you know that this game could still go either way. A single good fight for either side could swing the game dramatically. Baron's still up. Dragon in the next 4 minutes for that soul point.
We'll see if JDG can retain control. It is 3-2 in turrets right now, still close in kills, and with only 400 gold separating these two squads right now. JDG still seem to be holding all the cards. Double Black Cleaver actually on their front line. Looking for more damage focus, honestly, that build. Obviously, you can go tanky with like a Death Dance something, but they have chosen to do as much damage as possible. Frozen Heart now on the way for 369. Says Faker's not a damage threat, everyone else is.
I'm so excited to watch now the mid-game side lane play, because both these teams are so good at pushing and still having the global to come cover. Right now, you'll see a big movement towards pushing in to get vision around Baron. There's enough damage in the game that if you commit too far without any vision on the other side, you will give up such a big, big objective here. And JDG know that T1 just overcame RNG. One of the biggest mistakes RNG made in that game were giving up vision around Baron, giving up that Baron to T1.
JDG is so relentless with their vision control, though. You can already see on the map how much they've invested into this topside river, making sure that they have control over this objective. And the main goal of this is to force T1 to have to spend their vision to just clear out an area of the map to give T1 a little bit of extra security. But now look, they come back out onto the map, 2 control wards already picked up for Kanavi, another 2 control wards on missing. They're ready to push this vision deeper and deeper, and they're setting up for these future objectives, making sure they can control and limit what T1 can do on the map.
We are several thousand gold away from Hope finishing Infinity Edge to get his third item on the board. About 1,200, 1,300 gold in inventory right now. So still needs to be wants IE, pickaxe plus the combined, so 1,500 or so gold to go. LDRB, of course, a much cheaper road is possible as well if he wants to punch down the front line. With Double Cleaver, I don't expect LDR to be optimal, but we'll see which way he goes if he wants a sooner power spike, because that Cloud Soul is up in 2.5, and you only earn about 400 gold a minute in throw play. We'll see which way he goes with this one. JDG still aggressively pushing in the bottom side, a high ability haste build, as we've seen. And looking right at that bot tier 2 with Zeus maybe recalling in his face.
Yeah, it's very interesting when you allocate Galio all the way to a top side here like Faker, because when T1 show a Galio up there, you do have a global, quote-unquote, ultimate, but it's not the entire map like a teleport.
It's continental.
Exactly. He's running double, mobility. Summoner spells have a greater impact once he gets into the fight, but you know JDG are paying attention. Lane allocation for T1, so incredibly important here. With Faker, Zeus the only one that has actually the full range of motion there.
You can see how rich Gumayusi is. Freak, you were talking about the itemization earlier on, and I'm looking at how much gold he's sitting on. He is a very strong AD carry. He's looking for missing.
Missing jump. Ult combo comes across. How much time can they buy? 369 forced out. Tidal wave ulti, and it's a 2 for nothing. Zeus finds a double.
And just like that, T1 pounce. A very quick pick turns into 2 kills, and T1 are ruthless in finding and shutting JDG down.
There's no way JDG are going to be able to win a 3v5, right? No way they could make a hero play on Baron. Let's see if they try. 3 members of JDG versus the full might of T1.
4 whole wards on the support, but he's dead right now. Can't help the Mortar to the pin. Health bar's at about half HP. Smite is up on both sides. Faker dives in, and the rest of the squad comes by. Kanavi splashes away, burning down with the red. Wants the kill. He can't get it as Hope fires over the wall. JDG don't need a 4v5. They barely even need 3.
They did it! JDG 3v5. T1 don't want to flip the Baron, guys, so they go over the back of the wall trying to kill Kanavi, but JDG kites them through their red buff and get the counter kill onto Oner. What a stand. JDG hold fast here against the odds.
So, oh wow, so T1C missing, walking into the fog of war off the minion wave, and they're quick to find the pick. 369 very quickly follows as T1 ruthlessly run down JDG and catch them unawares. But the second that T1 head towards the Baron, you think, as you said, Kobe, surely there's no way. The turning point was that T1 committed to the fight. They turn, they don't actually flip the Baron. Their eyes are set on killing Kanavi.
Yeah, they're looking for the turn here. Faker on the side with Galio. He's got flash, so he wants to get this big taunt flash on the enemy jungler. He does instead get Hope, and then the knock-up onto Kanavi means they go all in for it. It's going to be...
They got a 4v5 somehow stop this Baron, but Cloud Soul's going over. This Baron could be claimed. The rest of the squad's got to get there. Yagao is around. Hope finds the damage. Oner will fight to live. It is a Baron versus a Dragon Soul.
Where have we seen this before? Oh, right, just in quarterfinals, T1 versus RNG. Another Cloud Soul traded for Baron. We will get to examine if it means as much in this game, where the gold is much closer. But off that respawn for T1, they shouldn't be able to get back and defend. Baron-empowered recalls are so quick.
They are on the way back down. Temporary combat power, very good, obviously, for T1. A bit of gold earned back. Half that gold for the Baron, just clawed back thanks to the bot tier 2 kill. Zeus looking for his next target, will not find it just yet. Yagao pretty fast.
The move speed from the Cloud Soul actually does mean a tremendous amount in a game like this, where so much is predicated on side lane pushing and picking people off.
For sure. I think the other thing I want to know is props to Yagao in what has been a very bloody game, yet to die. And I think he's actually been a big difference maker in a lot of these fights because he's not the person getting focused, Hope is. He's actually used a lot of his zone control to make it much harder for T1 to further follow up any initial picks that they're able to find.
Looking at bot lane at tier 1 right now. No one remotely nearby the defendant is going to be given over. Gold will be shared by Keria as mid lane tier 2 is under fire as well. And despite being down the Baron, JDG, 4v5s, 3v5s, Baron buff, they're still the team playing aggressively and taking more turrets than T1 has taken.
Yeah, it's looked like JDG getting a very, very good setup here. Not allowing T1 to get any gold out of this Baron. That Baron power play, one of the lowest that we have seen, because they're able to hard push down mid, not give T1 any time to set up their split push. Off those recalls though, the bounce back for T1 allows them to push up through mid and rotate over.
Still a close one, 1,000 gold separating these teams. T1, of course, back ahead thanks to the Baron they had claimed. Red Bull Baron power play, and still a minute left on the timer. Bot tier 2 under fire. Viego does not want the fight, and even though the wall comes down, they're not going to commit to the battle itself. They might just try now the knockback in. Here comes Galio. Will it be enough? Stopwatch buys time. Down goes one. Down goes two. And 369 and the rest of JDG are looking for a bit more. Amazing flash from Keria, but the chase is still on. Over the wall goes Kanavi. Wants to find his next stun. Here's the move speed in action. Thank you, Cloud Soul, for the cleanup. Guma on his way out. Flash is burned to stay alive, but Yagao is not yet done. Sidestepping away from the knockup, and finally they will stop getting these kills.
This T1 bottom lane are able to fend off all 5 JDG members as they kite away and buy Faker time to get an objective for themselves. Still pushing with the Baron, does get the tower.
Beautifully done, gets the goal back to the spot here, but we gotta play towards Faker. Burns his zone, he has 2-minute cooldown, but will it matter? He will drop, and the kill goes to Viego.
It's still a great trade for T1 being able to secure that tower, but losing so many members, it seems they were caught unawares. Zeus underneath the tower, he ended up getting knocked up by Yagao. The ultimate cuts off their escape route. He gets a little too close, and you'll see the knockup come through. Beautifully played there by Yagao, sets the lockdown, and JDG are quick. And look at the ultimate here from Hope as well, just tearing apart T1.
Exactly, JDG, such a good job getting the engage under tower. Yagao showing his mastery of this Taliyah pick, able to get catch the pick there onto Zeus and start it out. So then when they re-engage, T1 are fighting into the tower. Huge clump of damage there from Hope off the ultimate. Gumayusi, a lot of this damage that you're seeing is actually as they're escaping though, was not in the team fight, able to get them any meaningful kills. A lot of damage while running away.
And I credited Yagao for not dying earlier. Of course, Keria yet to die in this game as well. And that's arguably even more impressive on a Nami, a champion that doesn't have a huge amount of mobility or tools to peel for himself. Keria and Gumayusi continue to have a stellar performance. Yep. 2 deaths on Gumayusi, so uncharacteristic for him so far at this Worlds, dying, but he's still a massive carry threat, and he's someone you have to keep your eyes on. Pretty much full build now, level 16 on the Lucian. He will be the biggest damage dealer on the side of T1 that JDG will have to be very wary of as we move forward into the upcoming fights.
So fun watching these Titans go back and forth in these fights, in these picking moments. Only one of these outer towers still remains on the map left for them to take. So a lot of it is trying to get this deeper vision and then get just an extra second of alone time in an engage could mean the difference between life and death between one of these side laners.
Look at all the GAs that are now coming through. Kanavi, 369, and Hope all have that on the side of JDG. They are an incredible team fighting team. It is their team fighting that has helped them come back so many times in multiple domestic and international games. And now they will have many times to bounce back in these fights. Let's see how T1 handle it, because it's going to make their pick comp inherently harder to execute in the upcoming fight.
Lucian taunts everybody, and it's GA already down. How does Hope have a chance of surviving this one? It's going to land, and Gumayusi finds the cleanup kill. 45 seconds until Elder and Baron spawn.
He who strikes first gets the rewards. T1, led by Faker, the GOATs, get another pick for themselves. They take down the most important member and his GA, Vedius.
What a great flash from Faker, completely catching Hope off guard. He wasn't even able to respond with the flash of his own. JDG was forced to abandon him, and now 20 seconds on the Baron, 15 seconds on the Elder. T1 are primed and poised to secure these objectives that will likely decide the game.
As we've seen, JDG winning team fights from a numbers disadvantage. 13 seconds on Hope. He will have to walk all the way from the fountain to be able to get there in time. Elder Dragon started
Faker,
up.
not just yet, no 12k health. Hope still in the fountain. Look at it play on in now towards Zeus. Can't find the kill just yet. Health bar's pretty high. Here comes the first time. 369 out, missing. Drops down to Gumayusi. Getting attacked himself, but he has GA. And they'll pop it off of the Jacks now as well. 3v5 continues on. Out of the pick goes Zeus. Kanavi at 1 health. Shut down. 369 goes for everything he can. And he can't find it. It's up to Hope. He lands the ulti. The snipe is not enough. It's not a crit. And Yagao now stuck in play. Hope kills off Faker. Gumayusi kicked out now as well. Hope has to get it all. Gets one. Shoots for Zeus. Looks for two. Not the rest just yet. There's the wall. Yagao. He knocks down Guma. And the white gun goes for more. Hope gets a red buff. Fires off the snipe. And somehow JDG stopped the dragon.
The most glorious blood battle I've seen around Elder Dragon on the world stage. And the Elder Dragon survives. Hope runs all the way back, straight from the fountain, out of this death timer to save the day for JDG. Look at JDG. They're going straight for the fight. They don't want to even play around with flipping this Elder.
Keep your eyes on Gumayusi on the backside, just obliterates missing, and then the rest of the team is like, peel for Guma, keep 369 off him. We don't have time, we're back into the action, Freak.
Faker's still dead, Guma's still dead. Yagao will have to run from the base, but they think, hey, you know what? 4v3 seems pretty good. Faker no ulti. He has to walk all the way over. Oner won the last smite fight. Will he get this one as well? Doesn't have the ward vision, but might try all the same.
Oh, 369.
369 is gonna mark him, and that'll be enough to secure the Elder Dragon onto 4, and JDG will across the map and go again for Baron.
Another time where if we go back to the origins of this play, it was the T1 pick onto Hope in mid lane that allowed them to set up the first Elder Dragon and result in JDG still getting the objective in the aftermath. This team will never give up. They will never say die.
Unbelievable skill expression from both of these teams. We are witnessing some peak League of Legends right now. JDG will start off the Baron. The wall comes down.
Zeus in the front line, Oner on the side now as well. 8k health left, that's when Yagao sees no one's behind the pit. It's all in the front. It's 369 again, marking the target. Oner comes in, he'll find a stun though. And keep in mind, they've got Elder. Hope can't find the first kill, but 369 does. Zeus will drop as well. It's 2 for nothing. And T1 runs for the hills. But 369 once more gets his second of the fight. Looks for Guma. The cooldowns are short. The leap is almost back. The Cloud Rift helping. And Galio jumps in to help. 2v1 gonna be enough to push him away.
Well, the thing for JDG is, while the fight was good, they spent a lot of time just chasing the T1 members. They've only got a single cannon minion, and 2 T1 members still stand strong. They're looking to push it to the base. They're looking to end the game.
They're going to try to end it. There are no TPs up, but they can shepherd the minion.
Protect the cannon.
Yeah, it's 5v2.
It's
5v2, and JDG wants the Nexus. This one will not respawn in time. No inhibitors, no champions, and no no hope. JDG take game one.
The LPL champions! So impressive. They made their name in the LPL, fighting these fights from behind, overcoming odds. So many times in this particular game, down in numbers in a team fight. Guess what? They don't care. They fight you off anyways. They still get the objective. They stack it. They trade the Dragon Soul for a Baron. They win the fight around the Elder and pick it up off the reset. Magnificent stuff here from the LPL champions.
And so many great things from T1 as well. Yes, they ended up falling short at the very end.